I didn't flinch when I saw my millionaire husband Dominic Romano thrusting into our stepdaughter on my bed. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just hit record. His hands tangled in her hair, her moans mixing with his deep grunts. My stomach clenched, but not with sadness, with rage, a slow simmering fury that burned hotter than the betrayal itself. Because I already knew. I had known for weeks. I had seen the way his eyes lingered on her barely covered body, how his hand would brush just a little too low on her back when she walked by. I wasn't stupid. I was patient. And now I had what I needed. My name is Veronica Romano, and I am 36 years old. A wife. A trophy, some would say. I married Dominic when I was 25, straight out of college, seduced by his power, his wealth, the way he could command a room. He was 45 then, already a self-made millionaire, dripping in confidence and arrogance. He gave me the world, or so I thought. And then came Bianca, his daughter from a previous marriage. She was 19 now, young, beautiful, and fully aware of the effect she had on men, including her own stepfather. I wasn't naive. I saw the signs, the late-night whispers, the tension when I walked into the room, the way she bit her lip whenever he was around, her gaze lingering on him far longer than it should. And him? He encouraged it. I should have confronted them, should have screamed and thrown things, but I was smarter than that. I wanted more than just revenge. I wanted to destroy him. And so I planned. I installed hidden cameras in the bedroom weeks ago. I knew it would only be a matter of time before his sick desires consumed him completely. I wanted him to believe he was untouchable, that he could do whatever he wanted, with whomever he wanted. And now, as I watched the two of them tangled in sweaty sheets, my stomach twisted, but my mind was clear. I had everything. I slipped out of the house, my heart pounding, not from sadness, but anticipation. Tonight was the night I would ruin him. I walked out of the house that night with calculated calm, my heels clicking against the marble floor, my movements slow and deliberate. Every second that ticked by, my pulse hummed with anticipation. I wasn't just leaving. I was about to set everything in motion. As I stepped into my car, I glanced at my phone, my finger hovering over the video file I had just recorded. The full, unfiltered betrayal, laid bare in high definition. Dominic Romano, respected entrepreneur, beloved public figure, and oh, let's not forget, my cheating bastard of a husband, was about to see what it felt like to have everything ripped away. But not yet. No. I wasn't some desperate, scorned wife who would storm back into that bedroom and start screaming, begging for answers. No tears, no dramatics. That's what they were expecting. I was about to flip the script. I checked my watch. 1:32 a.m. By now they were probably still tangled up in my sheets, in my scent, in my bed. Disgust curled in my gut, but I forced it down. I couldn't afford distractions. I had a mission. I drove to a penthouse apartment downtown, the kind only a woman scorned, but well prepared, could afford without her husband's help. You see, while Dominic thought he had me wrapped around his finger, I had been building my own empire. A secret account, investments, properties in my name, hidden under corporations he didn't know I owned. He thought I was his prize, his perfect, obedient wife. What he didn't realize was that I was a queen who had already moved her chess pieces into place. The moment I stepped inside the penthouse, I made 2 phone calls. First, to Alessio Conti, Dominic's biggest competitor, a ruthless billionaire with a reputation for playing dirty. We had met a few times at charity events, exchanged flirtatious glances over champagne flutes. He was the kind of man who saw opportunity and took it, just like me. Veronica, Alessio's voice was smooth, laced with curiosity. To what do I owe the pleasure of a late-night call? I smiled, letting the moment stretch. I have something that will make you very, very rich, Alessio. And it involves my dear, unfaithful husband. Silence. Then, a soft chuckle. I'm listening. I gave him just enough to hook him in. A scandal that would shake Dominic's entire world. An investment gone wrong. A board of directors that would soon be out for blood. By the time I hung up, I knew one thing for sure. Dominic's business empire was about to go up in flames. But I wasn't done. The second call was to Olivia Davenport, Dominic's most cutthroat divorce attorney. The one he had used to destroy his first wife in court, leaving her with barely enough to survive while he walked away with everything. She picked up on the second ring. Veronica? She sounded surprised. I wasn't expecting a call from you. I smirked. Let's just say, Olivia, that I have a proposition. I could hear the curiosity in her voice, the undeniable interest. And what might that be? I want you to represent me in my divorce. Silence, then a slow inhale. Well, well, she murmured. This just got interesting. Oh, she had no idea. When I woke up the next morning, the sun was already high in the sky. My body stretched lazily against the silk sheets of my penthouse bed, a delicious thrill running through me as I remembered what I had set in motion last night. By this time tomorrow, Dominic Romano wouldn't know what hit him. I reached for my phone, opening the security app linked to the hidden cameras I had installed in our mansion, and there they were. Dominic and Bianca, still wrapped around each other, their bodies tangled in the sheets, blissfully unaware that their perfect little world was crumbling beneath them. I pressed play on the recorded footage, letting it run for a few seconds before I hit send. I sent it to Dominic's board of directors. I sent it to the press. And lastly, I sent it to his mother. Oh, how the mighty were about to fall. Dominic called me 7 times before noon. By the 8th, I finally answered. Veronica. His voice was breathless. Panicked. What the fuck have you done? I leaned back in my penthouse bed, sipping my espresso with deliberate slowness. I wanted him to suffer. Good morning to you too, darling, I purred, letting my voice drip with mock sweetness. Sleep well? Silence. I could hear his heavy breathing, the barely restrained rage and fear tightening his throat. He knew. Oh, he fucking knew. You sent that video to my board? His voice dropped, low and dangerous. Not just your board, I said airily. The press, the shareholders, your mother. I could feel the moment he broke, the moment reality set in. Dominic Romano, the one millionaire business mogul, was now the face of the public sex scandal. And his mob company was crumbling. Veronica, he growled, and I imagined him pacing the bedroom, running his hands through his hair, maybe even yanking the sheets off. Bianca's naked body. In frustration. This is fucking career suicide. I smiled into my coffee. Exactly. You should have thought about that before you fucked your stepdaughter in my bed, I said smoothly. But you always were a greedy little bastard, weren't you, Dominic? God damn it, Veronica! His voice cracked. Do you have any idea what you've done? Oh, I have. every idea. I was enjoying this. The power, the complete and utter destruction of the man who thought he could own me. I checked the stock market app on my phone. Romano Enterprises was tanking. Millions being wiped away by the second. Here's what's going to happen, I continued, cool as ice. You're going to sign the divorce papers I sent to your lawyer. Today. You're going to give me half of everything, and you're going to do it quietly, or I release the unedited version of that video. Silence. Then, a sharp intake of breath. You wouldn't. I laughed. Oh, Dominic. I would, I murmured, and I will. His voice was tight, strangled with fury. You vindictive little bitch. I tutted. Call me that again, and I'll make sure the world sees you whispering, Daddy's little girl, into Bianca's ear as you... Stop! His roar was so loud, I had to pull the phone away from my ear. I smirked. Gotcha. You have 2 hours, I said, my voice deadly calm. Tick-tock, Dominic. I hung up. And then I got ready for the next phase. Bianca was next. I knew she'd call the moment she realized she was no longer the favorite. She'd come running. And right on cue, my phone buzzed. Bianca Romano. I let it ring twice before answering. Bianca, sweetheart, I cooed. Shouldn't you be busy sucking off your stepdaddy? A sharp inhale, then a shaky voice. Veronica, please, I rolled my eyes. Let me guess. Dominic's furious. You're scared. You think if you apologize, I'll make this all go away? Silence. I smiled. Oh, darling, I don't do mercy. Please, she whispered, her voice breaking. He's turning on me. He said I seduced him, that I tricked him. I laughed. Of course he did. Men like Dominic, they never took responsibility. When the walls closed in, they all fed their women to the wolves. He said it was your fault? I asked, just to twist the knife. Yes, she choked out. He said he was drunk, that I cut her off with a snort. You really thought you were special, didn't you? Bianca whimpered. Let me make this clear, I said, my voice turning sharp. I don't give a fuck about you. I don't care if Dominic ruins your life the way he tried to ruin mine. But what I will do is make sure that when I'm done with him, he has nothing left. A shuddering breath. What are you going to do? I smirked. Oh, honey. I glanced at my reflection in the mirror, eyes glittering with pure malice. I'm just getting started. By 7 p.m., Dominic's empire was in freefall. Alessio Conti had swooped in like a vulture, buying up Romano Enterprises stock at pennies on the dollar. Dominic's board had voted him out as CEO. The scandal had gone viral. His mother, his precious, sainted mother, had released a statement publicly, disowning him. And me? I was about to collect my check. I sat at Dominic's lawyer's office, legs crossed, my silk dress hugging every curve, watching as Dominic reluctantly signed the divorce papers. 50 million, he spat, shoving the pen away. "You're a fucking monster." I smiled, tucking the papers into my bag. "Just playing the game, darling," I murmured. "And guess what?" I leaned in, letting my lips almost brush his ear. I won. I walked out of that law office richer, freer, and hungrier for more destruction. But I wasn't done yet. Dominic had signed over $50 million. But I wanted everything. His reputation, his power, his legacy, gone. I didn't just want him to fall. I wanted him to burn. As I stepped into my sleek black car, I checked my phone. The unedited version of the video was sitting in my drafts, one tap away from being released. But I had one last surprise before I pressed send. I made a call. "Is it done?" I asked. "All set, boss," the voice on the other end confirmed. "His accounts are locked. The feds are looking into the offshore money laundering. He's about to lose everything." I smiled. Dominic thought I was just a scorned wife, but he had no idea who he was dealing with. For years, I had watched. I had listened. I had learned his secrets. Every shady business deal, every bribe, every hidden account. And now, the authorities had them all. The moment he stepped out of that law office, a swarm of journalists surrounded him, cameras flashing, microphones shoved into his face. "Mr. Romano, do you have a response to the allegations of insider trading? Is it true you laundered millions through offshore accounts?
Are you aware of the federal investigation against you?"
I watched from my car, sipping my champagne as Dominic realized his life was over. And then, as if the universe was rewarding me for my patience, my phone buzzed with one last notification. Bianca. A leaked voice recording. I tapped play, and the moment I heard her breathy, desperate voice, I nearly moaned from satisfaction. "He told me he loved me," she whimpered. "He said he'd leave Veronica for me. I didn't know. I didn't know he was using me." I smirked. "Oh, honey." I opened my Instagram, attached the recording to the unedited video, and hit post. The internet exploded. Within minutes, Dominic was trending worldwide. The headlines were brutal. Dominic Romano, the fall of a disgraced millionaire. Caught in 4K, business tycoon's affair with stepdaughter exposed. Inside the scandal that shattered an empire. By nightfall, his company had officially collapsed. His bank accounts, frozen. His reputation, ruined. And Bianca? She was blacklisted. The girl who thought she could steal my life now had nothing. But I wasn't finished. I picked up my phone one last time and dialed Alessio Conti. "Veronica?" His voice purred. "Enjoying the show?" I smiled. "Very much." "I have something for you," he said smoothly. "A proposal, a business deal, and maybe something more?" I laughed. Oh, this was too easy. "Send me the details," I purred. "Maybe we can discuss it over dinner." I hung up, my reflection smirking back at me in the mirror. Dominic thought he could cheat on me and walk away unscathed. But he forgot one thing. I never lose.